That we live, man. Let's get it. Man, what's good, everybody? We back at it. Y'all see who in the building with us. We got BCozy.
Yes, sir. Peace.
We got Gxldsoulrebel, man. We back at it again. You feel me? Today, y'all see the title, The Prison and the Key. So, I'm sure you can imagine plenty of things, but we just finna crack it off. You feel me? How y'all want to start it off?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's a lot that can even go into that, and that's what we here to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Almost everything is some form of a prison. If you think about it, and it's really about pretty much, the process. What makes, I guess, let's start it off this way, right? What makes a prison a prison?
That's a good question.
Man, how you were saying, like, everything could be a prison too. Like, it's so many ways to get trapped. Because what is prison, right? Like, first one you think of, like, you stuck somewhere. You might be in a cell, and you're very limited in what you could do. It's against your will, obviously. But a lot of times we be the ones put ourselves in the prison too. So like, just off the title, The Prison and the Key. Let's say somebody was in jail. How would they free themselves? You know what I mean? A lot of us know some brothers, you know what I mean, been through it. Been through a little bit ourselves, and it's like, how do you escape that? Because the ones I know to tell you, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. Because the way you got in there was the mindset you was in.
Absolutely.
And they talking about physical, real prison. You feel me? So then that translates to all kind of ways. Like, it's people trapped in patterns. I think habits could be considered a way to be trapped in something. Because when I think about like a prison, it's really like, okay, what have I been doing that I haven't escaped?
Absolutely.
It make you kind of look at everything like, what need to be opened up or released? Because a prison is trapping something, so something's not being integrated into the rest of what's going on. So how do we do that? You know what I mean? But there's just so many ways to look at it. But I think one of the biggest things people struggle with is their belief system. That's one thing I always kind of mention, because your belief system is what your actions are based on. And literally your belief system could go from religion to, if you think what kind of food is right and stuff like that. Like, all of this play a role into your actions. And it's like, how do you free yourself from certain patterns? Like we had mentioned. Because patterns ultimately is what's going on. It's like, how do we break patterns? Because that's one of the most, like, I guess, noticeable types of prisons, I guess we could think of. Like, that's easy to explain. Like, okay, this motherfucker,
What's the key?
XYZ.
What's the key?
What's the key? Facts. Facts. And escape might not be the right word, but yeah, exactly. What's the key to change that pattern into something else? Because ultimately you gonna have a pattern. So how you gonna shift it up to make sense for what your real mission is, you know what I'm saying, how you make it translate. Facts.
And I think to feed off of that, again, we can talk about, let's do it that way, you know what I'm saying, before we even get to the key, right? Let's keep it going on the prison. Like, what are different types of prisons? Let's keep feeding off of that, you know what I'm saying?
I wrote something down. that I was thinking of. I ain't got so much to the physical prisons, but the mental and the spiritual prisons. I feel I wrote tell you what. The first one was identity, attachment, lust, pride. I feel like those things can fall under attachment, but identity and attachment, I feel like is being like the big two. You know what I'm saying? Them is just two of many, but I feel like those are big ones in today's society, at least, or amongst the collective, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us are low key. You might even be able to sum that whole thing down to attachment. You know what I'm saying? Because, excuse me, when I, like y'all said, it's being stuck in these patterns. You know what I'm saying? But what things keep us stuck in these patterns? Being attached to a certain emotion, a certain outcome, feeling, X, Y, Z. That validates whatever we feel like we keep doing and doing and doing, you know what I'm saying? Even as much as we might try to consciously deny, like, no, this shit ain't, I'm done, whatever the fuck. Even myself, I done told myself, no, I'm done doing this, you know what I'm saying? I'm done doing whatever X, Y, Z, and then I find myself doing that shit again, you know what I'm saying? Because something is actually fulfilling in it, or it's something that I'm not really addressing fully that, you know what I'm saying, that I obviously need to address for me to actually change, you know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, it boils down to some type of attachment, you know what I'm saying? Desire is an attachment to some type of want or result, you know what I'm saying? Attachment to your identity, who you feel you are, your story, you know what I'm saying? Your history, you know what I'm saying? We get identified with our, like he said, beliefs, a huge one. Religion, you know what I'm saying? Even just like you said, boil down to our small opinions. Sports teams, all these little things that we are attached to because they embellish our identity in one way or another, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like identity and attachment, they, I guess, can go together as a big prison, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a really big one, you know what I'm saying? For sure. Mental and spiritual, I guess you could say.
Because what is identity to a person for real? And it's like partially what they do. Like most time you meet somebody, what's up, what you be on, what you into, what do you do? When you meet somebody, they usually tell you their job. It's like most people identify as the human body, which is what we was taught. I mean, what else you gonna do? But there's so much more to you.
Absolutely.
Like I think we went to talk about that on the last one too, like how you get out of the prison of like what society has put you to focus on. Just, I don't know what to call that, but the trap of just society. They want you to be in like a certain state of mind to basically feed into their system. Because to be a part of this shit, you kind of gonna deal with certain shit that's gonna have you feeling certain ways if you not, like, I don't know what to call it, but focused. If you ain't, got some understanding. And because for me, what helped me escape that prison was like learning what shit was for real, what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, but as far as like identity, I think it comes down to their actions. And a lot of times the people's actions come from their trauma, but we not taught this. Like, we don't know, like, just growing up that, I'm acting this way because of X, Y, Z. You thinking everything is just free will as far as it go, which it is, but there's a shadow there. There's something else feeding into that force. And that continues as you go on, and that's like a secret prison, low key. It's like a shadow prison. You don't know why you do certain shit, or you don't even care about why you do certain shit, but everybody else notices it. Every time you talk to somebody that's close to you that know you, your brother, your homie, your sister, somebody, man, you always, you know, y'all get into it, man, you always doing this. Or something happened, man, he always on, and here you go again. You just brush off like, here they go talking shit. But you can take the opportunity to learn something like, damn, I'm always doing what?
Yeah, man.
Which is to say, brother, keep an open mind when you hearing from people, especially that know you. Especially when if it's somebody that don't know you, okay, cool. And spirit could talk to them too, but especially if it's somebody know you, and they could be tripping too. So take it all, you know, this ain't just all they right, but you know what I mean? You gotta learn to see where you trapped at. The first step is awareness of if you even can identify something for yourself, because a lot of us have just accepted what we see as happening, or just what it is type of mentality. Which I mean, it is that. But ultimately, it's a lot more going on, that we got cut into for sure, man. Like emotionally, I think people get it fucked up. There's so much power there. There's so much just like that emotions can fuel, but it just gets burnt off into just nothing. You know, people fighting and wasting their lives away and shit. And it's fucked up because I'm not like here to tell nobody shit. Live your life good and da. But I'm saying it's just so much potential. You know, you can see things in people. That don't mean they gonna live that what you think, and that's almost egotistical to think you could just see who being great and shit. But shit, I feel that way. I feel like I'm like, man, you seem smarter. You seem like you got some sense. Out of 50 kids I talked to today, and they're like kind of just whatever. You know, that should make a difference. You know. And it's important to make them impacts where you can, but yeah, I'm kind of just going on and on.
I was gonna say another one that I just thought of. I think reaction can be a prison, in the sense that, you know, it keep you locked in them patterns. You know what I'm saying? You know, I be thinking about this when I, you know, am having arguments with my lady, or just certain, you know, reactions that I have, you know, and it's like, you know, in my mind, low key, you should really, you know better, you know what I'm saying? You know, you have more sense, you know what I'm saying? But you got also an ego in you that's like, nah, nigga, like, I know what you really could be on, should be on, but this is what I want to do, you know what I'm saying? This is how I feel, you know what I mean? It's like, it's easy to go with that, you know what I'm saying? This is something I was also going to say earlier, is that I feel like thought, in one way or another, is a prison. Attachment, or identifying with thought, because this not thought in itself is, I don't think that's inherently bad. It's only natural to think, but I feel like the attachments we have to the thoughts that we have is like a big prison, you know what I'm saying? Because that often funnels into all these other things that we believe, do, say, you know, X, Y, and Z. Yeah. It started with that thought of like, oh, you know, and it's kind of feeling is the kind of connected with it too, especially when it comes to another person, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, you know, you see somebody do a certain thing, you judge that certain thing.
Come on, man.
And then it's like a whole story building off of that, you know what I'm saying? And don't let you have read a book, you know what I'm saying, or heard a lecture or anything to where you feel like you done did some shit. A nigga can't tell you nothing. In fact, you finna be trying to tell him some shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, nigga, that's a prison, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and don't get me wrong, it ain't nothing wrong with sharing information, and, you know, if you feel so inclined, because I feel that way a lot of times, it's, you know, shit, right now, you know, to be moved to say certain things, but I'm never coming off as like, oh, I'm the utmost right and you need to hear exactly what I'm saying because this is the pristine truth. In a way, I do feel that way, but not in a way it's like, oh, I'm the only right nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not attached to these things that I study and come to know and even find out, even things that I feel like are breakthroughs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, as much, and don't get me wrong, like, I feel like I done experienced and came up on a lot of knowledge that I do value and I keep with me. But I'm not so attached to it to where I feel like I need to argue with niggas or defend it if somebody has a different opinion. If I do have, if I am feeling like that, that means I'm too attached. That means I'm identifying with an aspect of, you know, life that is really a fragment, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, nigga, for one, the truth don't need no defense. You know what I'm saying? So if it's the truth, who cares if they accept it or not? You know what I'm saying? Like if a nigga told you that you can't tie your shoe, but you know damn well what is the point of saying anything to this nigga? Like, yeah, you could argue up and down that, hey nigga, look at me right now, I'll tie this bitch. You feel me? Like, and so what? You feel me? Like, so it's like, yeah, all that to say, like, attachment to thought, you know what I'm saying? I feel like is a root to the prison, or is a root prison for lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where identity forms. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I feel like after identity forms, that's where attachment to material things and even mental and certain emotional things happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's then people start to, you know, embellish themselves and so-called find themselves in these different mundane things or even cool things, you know what I'm saying? But it's like ultimately these things are not you know what I'm saying? So when certain things happen that are either inevitable or even that you cause, you know, it's like you have a certain reaction to it that is like you don't necessarily learn, you know what I'm saying? It's like you just have an emotional reaction, you shout out the sky or some shit like that, and then basically you stay the same motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's because you was attached to who you feel you are, what you think you know, what you think you believe, and all that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? And it sounds crazy because, you know, it's like on one hand, it's practical to be thinking and, you know what I'm saying, out in the world, you kind of, I guess, gotta be attached to that, but it's like, in your deeper knowing, you know what I'm saying, you gotta really know, like, hey, yeah, these are activities, but I'm not an activity in my essence, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with this whole body shit, like, this shit gonna die, but nigga, the essence of who I am is one with this whole entire thing, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's eternal, not necessarily Malik Barnett ties, you know what I'm saying? But the thing came from, which is part of me, which ultimately is me, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't want to go on the whole spiel, but yeah, just I feel like thought is a big prison that causes a lot of other prisons, such as identity and attachment to, you know, not only physical things such as cars, money, whatever, but also people, relationships, girlfriend, boyfriend, family, you know what I'm saying? Even this way, like, I know maybe even y'all can, you know, relate to this. It's like with certain family members, especially, especially one that you grew up around, you know, they so used to seeing you in a certain way that when you become genuinely a different way, they almost like, nigga, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, no, you nigga, remember when you used to look this nigga? I know you had such, like, and they got all the stories, and they might be true, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, nigga, I'm on this, you know what I'm saying? I know who I am. I know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? I know what I'm trying to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like they stuck in that, the way they see you know? I feel like parents sometimes can be like that, you know what I'm saying, in certain ways, you know? So, yeah, that's just my little examples, but yeah. Definitely thought, attachment, identity. I feel like all these things keep us bogged down in religions, routines, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Keep
the
us
stuff you do every day.
Stuck in the mud, so to speak.
Man, because, you know, and again, the way, you know what I'm saying, even this conversation, you can, you know, not saying that this conversation is a prison, but and in a sense, it all is a process, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go through a process to even be in the prison anyway, you know what I'm saying? And if you are able to consistently think outside the box, even within this prison, you really cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Really straight because you know what freedom feels like. You know what I'm saying? You know what freedom is. You know what I'm saying? Which is essentially doing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Or what you know to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't want people to get it twisted that it is a bad thing to, you know, have a favorite sport. It's a bad thing to feel certain things and do certain things. It's not, y'all. It's not a bad thing to do it, but where we going with this whole thing is understanding like why you are so attached to this, right? And if something was to happen, right, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, the minor things really don't matter, but we're talking about big things like where, you know, say you attach to a certain food, something that you have to consume on a consistent basis when it comes to food. If you have a health issue where they pretty much tell you like this type of food you cannot eat anymore. All right, you can't eat this anymore, or what's going on with you is going to get worse. There are some people who would be like, fuck what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to, that's not, I mean, yeah, that's free will. That is living free, but that's not smart. All right? What we saying is it has to be some type of balance. You feel me? Yes, it's okay to like this type of food, but please don't be attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point there might be a circumstance where you can't eat this food no more. And then what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So that can be as broad as one would like, you know. So don't get it confused. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be human. It's okay to have the experience. It's okay to enjoy it. Right? But when it's time to let that shit go and lock in on what you need to lock in and become the person that you need to become in order to do the things that you need to do. All right, it be hard, y'all. We get it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, bro. It's hard. You feel me? I smoke weed every day. I've tried to quit smoking weed, bro, 1,000,000 times in my life, bro. I've told myself so many times, nigga, this your last time. It be too much shit that happens in life where it's a trigger. Boom. Man, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take care of what I need to take care of, but I'm definitely finna smoke after this, cause this shit done pissed me off, or this shit done did this, or this shit, damn, that was a good experience. Like, I'm ready to go, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all, you know what I'm saying, triggers, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, the best way to respond to these things is, again, having a balance. You feel me? If there was a point where I needed to stop smoking weed, I know I could stop smoking weed. You feel me? I don't need it. You feel me? It's just at points I be feeling like, man, you know what? Let me go ahead and relax. You know what I'm saying? That's what I use it for. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their vices and shit, but it be too much attachment to it.
Everybody got them.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their shit that they gotta do.
They be trying to act like they ain't got no vice.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's hooping, you know what I'm saying, going to the gym, you feel me? Like, all of that is a vice. All of that is to keep you, it helps you keep going. You know what I'm saying? This life, bro, this life is fucking crazy, yo.
I bring up another point, too. Not to cut you.
No, go ahead.
I bring up about the ego. You feel me? Like,
that's what I was
obviously, that's like basically what he's talking about. Is like the way that play into your daily life is all that shit. You feel me? Like, and it's crazy because it's like, at one point, for those doing the work, for those studying certain information, it might seem like the ego an enemy or the ego something bad. The more you keep going, you see the ego is literally the reason you still alive right now. I always like to put it that way because, well, let me say this first. For anybody that don't know what the ego is, the way I'm talking about it is the part of yourself that believe that this is you and that's where it stopped at. And that everything that has to do with this body and this world is what is important and is what you need and is what you must focus on and give all your energy to. That's my quick summary of the ego. It's the thing that's focused in the 3D and just, it gets really ugly. Sometimes things can make you, like you said, trigger. You do certain shit, you tweaking, you might use trauma as an excuse to start wilding out and doing certain shit. That's all ego shit. And in the ego, unresolved is when the shit happen. Is when the shit gets wilding. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of forgot the point I was making before this. But now y'all know, you know what I'm saying, how the ego can play out just somewhere in your life because it's parts to yourself. So basically, let's talk about that then. Since the ego is the prison, you gotta understand you're beyond the prison already, but you become trapped in this ego self when you enter a human body. So being born, boom, now your spirit got an ego wrapped around it. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe look at it a different way. You know what I'm saying? But in my way I see it, the spirit is in the center. And then there's a bunch of layers that get piled on your ego, your mind, your body, your skeleton, all that shit. Like, you know, there's densities that get piled on, but your spirit is, what is it called? Weightless. It's the lightest thing there is. You know what I'm saying? It's the real light. And this is what they refer to as the black sun because it's in the center. You don't technically see it, but it shines through it permeates through every, whatever, vibration, action, however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? So the key here is to access, how we access spirit. You know what I mean? If we trapped in the physical reality, how do you get to the real self and why even do that? What's the purpose? Like, some people comfortable in the prison. You know what I'm saying? Niggas eating good. They chilling. They got the Gucci on in prison for real. Like, you know, this not to this not to say nobody, like, get how you live, man. You feel me? But we talking about everybody where you at in life. There's something you probably notice ain't exactly how it's supposed to be. You know, and let's bring it back and say, this for the people doing the work, man. This for the people focused on making a change, not just like physically, but understanding who you really are. Like figuring out what's going on with life, why certain shit is happening, and how you can begin to make that change for yourself to where you see certain outcomes you need, and just to be aware of what the fuck going on. You know what I mean? Because there's plenty of shit going on in the world. We'll tap into on other videos. I got this shit we'll talk about. But today, the whole focus of this gathering is to remind ourselves of the prison that we live in daily, which is the Matrix pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Bro got the shirt on today, even I don't know if he did that on purpose. But like, that's the number one prison. First of all, you in a prison. You in a place that is constantly pushing, for lack of a better term, pushing all different kinds of pressures on you to form into a certain shape. And that shape fits through their system, which continues everything. This is the main prison we all in. Everybody going to work every day, we all part of it. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. And like, to survive is necessary. You feel me? Like, you gotta make some stability before you can break free from it. And a lot of that seems to start with money, but it really starts with your mindset. The biggest change I see in life is when I get out of my own way. You feel me? I be my own prison for real. It's like, shit, okay, boom, I got some bread. Boom, I done spent, I done ate, boom, now it ain't no bread left. I should pay for it, but now that was my little spending money. I ain't invested in nothing. I ain't XYZ. I done did this so many times. How many times I gotta do it to say, hold up, I'm good, you know what, I'm straight. Let me fast for a minute. Let me take this little boom and try to do something different. Try to apply shit, because there's ways to break free from shit that we don't even realize. I'll be feeling like it's so obvious, because everybody got a gift.
Man.
Everybody do. The more you get to know people, you like, man, this is interesting what you're talking. I ain't know that about hockey or some shit. Disney don't even play hockey. He just know all about it. You know what I'm saying? You can learn shit from all kind of people. Like, sometimes even when it's not a person, like I was talking about, like that know you personally, if I hear certain shit, I kind of just try to hear what they saying, because we can block ourselves into thinking certain ways that we just know shit, kind of how bro was talking about. Like, oh, so this just mean that no matter what, and that's it. That's what this is. So anytime you see this, that's what that is. But you don't understand what can be contained in this empty space. You focus on the exterior, on the outer shape of some shit. And that's the whole thing. Like, I love and I heard an old song, like it was on shuffle earlier in the car. I heard an old song come on mine. I said something like, I gotta go in, it ain't no way around. You gotta go in. I said I gotta go in, I ain't had no way out. I had to go in. I ain't had no way out, nigga. You feel me? Like, you have to look within though. That's the whole point. They want us to focus on followers, on likes, on whatever the fuck, on flexing, on hoes, on whatever the fuck niggas got going on beefing, on whatever your vice, whatever it is. They want us focus on that, because just go back to COVID. That little bit right before the George Floyd shit, when shit had calmed down and niggas was chilling, I'll never forget. It was like some kind of harmony amongst black people. There was like some kind of connection. You was seeing it, like there was a lot of conscious shit being spoken about, but it was like people was like, what we finna do? Anytime you see that, never buy into that shit. But there was something about that was like, okay, something's happening, because we never have been that free time-ish or whatever. Niggas ain't never had that much free time. So when it was happening, then boom, at the culmination, when you was thinking something was gonna start happening, that's when the George Floyd stuff happened. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even finna get into all that. But like, all this stuff, look into crisis actors. You feel me? Look into the way they trap you into believing what's on the news. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if any of y'all got people who be like, oh, did y'all see what, you know what I'm saying, so-and-so was talking about on the news? Nigga, I could care less what they talking about. Just to put it simply, like, let's be for real. What is the spirits talking about? What is your ancestors telling you? What messages is you receiving, you know what I'm saying, to move yourself to the next level? You know what I mean? We really here though on Earth, and the whole point of this shit is to deal with the methodology of how to move through day to day. Because all that other shit sound good and it's good to know. It help you cultivate the environment where the action can live. But like, what do you do day to day? That's what you need to like kind of reflect upon, to begin to see where you at and where do you want to be at. Because I get people ask me, man, how do you, what make you think about this type of stuff? And my only answer is, I just try to do what I love, man. Because at the foundation of everything you do should be love. Even when you're dealing with a motherfucker who seem like they full of shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that your senses telling you probably accurately, you need to still be moving in love. You can't let that fault you. And the more you live in that, the more you're going to have that connection with whatever you call God. Because that's the closest thing to what God is just limitless potential. Anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of getting past the prison part here, and I still want to talk about that, because that shit,
not at all.
How it's built is foundational. How do we even get into that? That's how you figure out how you get out of it, because it's really the same shit.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to mention how all this shit is one though. You feel me? It's all one. So like, as you going through shit, man, because I swear, like, I remember seeing shit like this as a young nigga, and really not. I ain't never heard no niggas talk like this, but something that someone might perceive as, oh, these niggas trying to, whatever, be woke or act like they know something. I don't give a, that type of thing. I remember seeing shit like this being like, man, I don't give a fuck. But like, at this point in my life, bro, like, this the type of shit that really change lives. The people who gonna get it. And those who ain't, they just ain't, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas having children, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really at that point where it's time to build your village. And this go for everybody. This go for everybody watching, everybody. This might come across you as meant to find this. Is anybody tuned in at this point? You hearing something? You feel me? And it's at that point in the world where shit is happening to where we just left like whatever world we all was just living in growing up in, we just left that world. We in a whole new reality now where this shit is a technocracy based government, if you could call it that. But this shit is beyond Big Brother at this point. Not only is you surveilled every day, is your entire phone some kind of trap on your ass. Like it's you is a total data imprint inside of their system. And their whole goal is to extract from you whatever energy, whatever currency they can, as long as they can, because this shit is collapsing. So this shit is ending, but they, instead of being like, okay, this shit over, what y'all want to do, they gonna try to introduce a new system. Now is your time to find the autonomy to escape, like for real. And it ain't about an escape, it's about building. But first you gotta get from around this motherfucker. Whether that mean moving somewhere or just building where you at. Okay, it's time to create that form of not just unity, but like living where we know we're supposed to be at. Okay, it's enough of it's so much of the bullshit we see day to day. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud to know some men like this for real, because it ain't too often that you see people with real souls. We go through our day to day dealing with limitless NPCs daily. People who is just a part of the machine. It ain't even nothing against them. That's just what they is. Just like we is what we is. They just a part of the system. They gotta keep it going. They gotta report some shit. They gotta hate on you and don't know why they hate you. You know what I mean? And we get trapped in that too, thinking what other people think about us. Mm-hmm. Feeling like we can't do certain things because somebody gonna feel a certain way about it, blah, blah, blah. How many people can relate to that? If you can't, shit, that's amazing. Because everybody that I know, bro, that's what you go through in life. You feel pressure about saying, man. And then when you have your happiest moments of proud of yourself, whatever you call it, it's when you break through. It's when you don't give a fuck and you do it and you see. And a lot of times the happiness comes from the reaction. You see people like, hey, that's dope, or you getting a positive reaction, or you just feel good about it. Most of the time it's people cheering you on. You like, hey, this feel good. That's ego again. And this is where the trap can come back in, because just like bro was talking about, I don't know if that was, I think that might have been Union of Opposites part 2, but when you talking about the loop of how a motherfucker go through feeling good, and they fuck up, then they healing, then they getting better, then they doing good, then they fuck up. It's the same thing. That's all what we talking about is the ego, and how do you break free from the ego? But ultimately, you gotta integrate that motherfucker, because it's you. That's you here on planet Earth. As you here functioning as a living light, you are in imagine yourself, who said it? I forgot how they put it. I'm finna butcher this, but this is what I remember how it made me feel. Remember, people never forget how it made them feel. You are basically this. Imagine like a stone, just a pure stone, dropping all the way down to the deepest, darkest part of the ocean. Just a tiny little stone, just surrounded by just complete, to the point where it's darkness. It ain't no fish you ever seen down there. You just all the way down there at the depths of the ocean. And you surrounded by that mass of pressure and darkness and unknowingness of what's in front of you. And but we know there's all kind of shit down there, but you don't even know that, and you down there though. You feel me? Imagine that. That's you on planet Earth. You is just this blind, you don't know shit. And the shit that you receive upon going through the indoctrination of the Rothschild instituted different educational systems is the shit we know. Is the shit we know. We look at it as ABC, English, this mean that, good is this, bad is that. If you believe this, boom, this is what sane people think. Where did you learn this shit? You learn this shit from TV programs and all different kind of places that were probably imprisoned by different kind of entities. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling, which is why I try to keep an open mind when thinking about different shit that be going on. Because it's like, you never know who did what to who. All these motherfuckers might be subject to some kind of, otherworldly. It's already been declassified that the aliens is here, nigga. Been here. You know what I'm saying? The CIA, we could pull it up Right now, nigga, they talking about this shit all the time. This ain't even news no more, though. Nobody's reacting. Nobody cares. Who gives a fuck about the aliens? We been knew that shit. You know, like, it's all kind of shit going on. So what do you do? What do you do? You know, because you can see all these things, but then how you begin to dismantle it, for real. And that's what we telling y'all, like, we all agree, it starts with self. It start and really end with self. We get stuck on the, hopefully it resonates to other people part, and don't even do that. Most of us be trying to force it on other people. You know, like when you find something that worked for you, now you want it to work for everybody. And then when it don't work for them, now you give it up yourself. You know, it's like, bro, there's too many reactionary parts of this shit. Like, we gotta learn to take hold of ourselves as who we are for real. Who do you think you are? What do you think you are? Like we was talking about, you know, because that itself could be another way of being trapped. And once you trapped, you can't go no further. Think of what we saying. If you trapped in who you are, you can't go no further. That means the things you do right now, that's all that you do. That's all you gonna do. That's what Steve does. You feel me? Like, you gotta find a way to break free from that shit, man. Because we all been programmed with certain shit. Growing up, you was told, oh man, little Steve always, he gonna be a motherfucking mechanic. Like, and they be trying to find mechanics. Whole time, that's a good ass job. But like, that's the thing. We was taught to think we was taught to think certain shit, to look at shit certain ways, and we still do it. Our grown ass. You know, so man, it's just so many ways motherfuckers can break it down, and I just think it's important to always decode everything you're looking at. Yeah, that's the point I'm at. Is trying to see through. Not even trying to just allow myself to see what is. You feel me? Because the more you start looking at what's constantly being shown through these different forms of like media, what's just going on in the world in general, you like, man, I see a pattern. And I don't want to be a part of this pattern. You don't have to, thankfully, you know, because it's actually a trap to try to get you to be a part of it. There's all kind of shit going on. You know? Yeah.
You spin, bro. For real.
Man, we just talking.
I was gonna ask, really, shit, all of us, y'all, you know, I don't know if y'all want to get to this part yet, the key, you know, and all that. But
yeah, I think
before I ask y'all that, though, I want to say something.
I think so.
Before I ask y'all that, though, I want to just recircle around like specific prisons. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna name some, and then I want y'all to name some. It can be the ones that we just talked about. You know, it don't matter, but just to kind of refocus on the topic, and then I'll talk from there. But you know, prisons for me, a lot of them fall under identity, and identity with your thought, your history, the things you tell yourself, you know what I'm saying, the habits you come to, you know, normalize in your life, the patterns, the normal things, all these normals, you know what I'm saying, are, can be prisons, you know what I'm saying. I won't say necessarily they are, but they can be prisons, you know what I'm saying. And that's why a lot of us are, when things change, it feels so like hijackish, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? This should be this way, you know what I'm saying? Things should be like this. That wasn't how that was supposed to go, you know what I'm saying? And reality, if it wasn't supposed to go that way, it wouldn't have fucking went that way, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's some real shit.
That'd be the hard shit to accept, you know what I'm saying, in certain situations.
Because if you didn't go through it, then when would you have went through it?
You know what I'm saying?
Why'd you go through it in the first place?
Exactly. So obviously it's there for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And
shit had to happen, nigga.
Had to.
How do you get the key? How do you learn? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But before I get too off topic on that, yeah. So identity, you know what I'm saying, with your personal experiences, just to sum that up.
More about that too.
reactions. You know what I'm saying?
Cause man, for real, cause you know what I'm saying. Identity is like low key. It hits everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. We could name would fall low key under identity because everything that we do, everything that we think, everything that we, you know what I'm saying, say, feel, all of that is low key what we identify as and who we identify as. You know what I'm saying? Especially just on a human, you know what I'm saying, basic level. You know what I'm saying? Because just like bro said, you know what I'm saying, how many times I let you be the thing that you are. No matter what it was or is or will become, you always want the things that you want. That is like, it will always be the realest shit. And I think a lot of people have trouble with the real understanding that things are the way that they are, and they will always be what they are. You are not powerful enough to change what is. That is God, actually. You know what I'm saying? What is just naturally is God. You can't do it. What do you really think you like that for real? You know what I'm saying? Which is, you know, again, like bro was talking about, ego. You know what I'm saying? Too many people think that they, you know, have reached certain levels and done certain things that they can make all of these shifts and changes. And it's like, heard you. You know, I feel you. I like the energy. You know what I'm saying? But like, yo, what is will always be. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that you see that feel that they are this mighty motherfucker, you see where he pointing? They are, man, every single time. Yeah. It's inevitable, man. What goes up, it must come down at some point. And that's every day in life. You think only the highest motherfuckers go through that? No. The shittiest motherfuckers go through it too. The poorest motherfuckers go through that too. Life don't stop for nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? But not to get too far off topic of identity, because that shit is key. You know what I'm saying?
That's like where all the prisons come from.
For real. For real.
It almost start there.
With self. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even as far as, you know, the journey that anybody could be on, right? But even while we, you know what I'm saying, doing what we doing, you know what I'm saying, don't become slave to what we, you know what I'm saying, what we do, because it's all personal.
That's one of the flex of wallpaper.
Yeah. Don't become a, you know, a slave to, you know what I'm saying, strictly just dependent on us and these conversations to get the things that you feel like you need.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to talk more about that too.
For real. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't resonate with this shit, get the fuck from around here.
For real.
Like,
For real. And if you do resonate with it, like, make sure you are getting back to you after you watch this. Don't make it seem like we are up there and we are the only people that can give and get this information. Like, nah, you can.
Yeah. Get to that point where you don't need this shit no more either.
For real.
You should get to a point where you feel like, these niggas talking about shit I know about already. I'm good.
Feel me?
Shit. That's what's up. We encourage that. This just it's like a resting point on the journey.
Yeah.
You making it, you gotta stop somewhere. You like, damn, I met some real ones.
Yeah.
We talk about some real shit. I gotta keep going. Type shit. Like, you feel me? And we all doing that. On me.
So, y'all would say that identity is the prison of all prisons. Ultimately,
I would say ego. Ultimate, but I would say ego. What bro was saying, but again, I think identity identifies with ego.
Yeah, I was saying, like, one and the same.
You feel me? Like, you know, I absolutely feel
it start there.
Yeah.
It start there. What about once you identify as something else? Do your identity change then? And once you identify beyond the physical, you know what I'm saying? Is that still even identifying, or is that realizing yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a broad ass question, but
No,
y'all
that's a
get what
good
I'm
one.
saying?
That's a really good one. I think it's identifying, perhaps, because you, as long as
It's
you in
identifying
time,
just some human shit. Like,
as long as you alive, you're gonna have to. As long as you thinking, you're gonna think in them terms. But I feel like the difference is, or can be, with this shit, is that what you're identifying with now is the totality. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, oh, I'm doing this, I do this. You know what I'm saying? And I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Or this thing is not me. All of this shit is me. You know what I'm saying? The good, bad, the ugly, the unexplainable, the explainable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even from an ego level, like I'm just, oh, I'm Superman, I'm everything.
Right.
It's like, no, it's like, no, like my perspective
Yeah.
when I look out into the world is that this is all one. This whole experience, you know what I'm saying?
Right there.
And
becoming one with. That's what I was gonna say. Does it become identifying? I think it becomes becoming one with.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, like, you know what I'm saying? Again, you understand that you're not Superman, right? But it's okay to feel as if you could conquer what Superman conquered. You can bring on, you know what I'm saying, what Superman brought, or like, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to feel that way, but like, don't, feel like you can fly out this window. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like learning these things and getting into this information for the right reasons, letting it hit your heart for real. Something that Brother Panic spoke on too, you know what I'm saying? It's like, once it get there, then you can take this information, and even though it's gonna, go get past it's gonna, the ego's gonna have to deal with that information, but it's gonna be able to see through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're in it for a genuine reason, you know what I'm saying? And that genuine reason is because I'm not doing it to feel better or look better than nobody else or escape anything. Is to really learn to have a more pristine perspective or more expansive perspective of reality, you know what I'm saying? And what I can do as far as being true to that, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of benefits come from, and detachments come from that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, I'm following the source in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of formations and a lot of traditions and culture and such and this and that that's not necessarily the source, you know what I'm saying? It's like these are all things that came from that, you know what I'm saying? But it's these things in themselves, even though they might present themselves as that, they are not that, you know what I'm saying? So it's important to like know that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I don't mean never to interact with these things, you know what I'm saying? Or even to demonize them, but it's just like, you know them for what they are, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I got a fork in my hand, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna curse it if I drop it and it land on my feet. It's a fucking fork. It's pointy, you know what I'm saying? You just use it and you move accordingly next time. Don't drop that motherfucker. You won't put a sock on or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's just like, man, like, yeah, just I kind of got off topic where I was going with all that shit, but yeah, man, just the identities, you know what I'm saying? Identifying in the ego shit. I feel like before we even get to the key, right before this, like, what would y'all say is some of the main things that we identify with and are attached to, whether it's on the day-to-day, whether it's on a personal level, collective level, like, especially for people who are not per se woke or just beginning in this, so they could know, like, what would you say if you had to name? So I know we've been naming a few, this whole time, but, just for the clarity's sake, what would y'all say?
For the beginning.
Yeah.
Your question, like, name some prisons, you said?
Yeah, basically same question.
For like the beginning, type.
Yeah, man, it could be physical, mental, all that. Because I feel like we ain't really touched too much on the physical ones. Too much, you know what I'm saying? I think you spoke a little bit on it, but yeah. So,
I think a big one, man, is having like another person that you like look up to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just like I was, you know what I'm saying, just talking about earlier, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, people watching this and taking this information from us, but only strictly depending on us to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, without us, it's like, you know, so because I think a lot of people, even myself, you know, I used to pretty much rely on panic, rely on, you know what I'm saying, Dr. Phil Valentine, you know what I'm saying, Dr. Alimil Bay, 13, like, you know what I'm saying, I had a lot of people, but at some point, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I had got so much information that if I wasn't watching a video, if I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, listening to a lecture or whatever, like, I wasn't doing the real work no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was almost like they were playing God, they were playing Jesus in a sense, because what they were talking about was so powerful that when I would hear them talk about it, that's when I would like, oh yeah, I'm all right, bet I'm finna do this and do this and do this and do this. But you know what I'm saying? When I wasn't doing that no more, you know what I'm saying, it had got to a point where the work wasn't being done anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I can't even say the work wasn't being done. It was like things were different, things shifted, but you know, again, let me not get too far off topic, but you know what I'm saying, because we still talking about prisons, so you know what I'm saying, different things. But even then, me getting that information and knowing, okay, I gotta get back to self, you know what I'm saying? Becoming a prison of, and again, damn, I mean, it's ego, you know what I'm saying, thinking who you are, what you know what I'm saying, because when you get certain information and stuff, it really will have you feeling like, yeah, I am God. Yeah, I am this. Yeah, I am that. You know what I'm saying? And again, yeah, you are the God of you though. Like, don't be out here and you know what I'm saying, in this grocery store thinking that they finna give you everything that you got in this cart because you feel like you God. Like, that's not what we, you know what I'm saying, what we talking about. This is all about self. Everything that we talking about is about self. And this is not so that you can shit on the next person or shit on these people that, you know what I'm saying, been shitting on you or made you feel like shit or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is strictly so that you could become a better you. You know what I'm saying? That is the only reason you should be on this journey, so that you can become a better you. You know what I'm saying? You can deal with these things, deal with life a lot better than what you can. You can walk with a lighter heart. You can walk lighter so that you can rise. It's easier for you to rise. You know what I'm saying? When it's heavier for you, it moves a lot slower. You know what I'm saying? It moves a lot slower. You could rise, yeah, but it's going to take a lot longer for you to get there because you got all this weight you trying to carry.
And what is that weight? What becomes the weight?
Them shackles. All of the things that we attached to. All of the things that's holding us down, holding us back.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And that's, again, everything that we've just been talking about. You know what I'm saying? What we identify as. This is so crazy because, again, even the last episode that y'all had with the mask and the mirror, identity, plays in it, but I knew that it was gonna tie into it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, man,
they all been tied.
You know what I'm saying? They all tie in. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to, because it's all one and the same. But just for example, for the longest time, I've identified as Brock the Hooper. You know, that's all I knew. That's how I was moving. And when it was time for me to really shift and become something other than a Hooper.
What was that like? Tell us about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
The psychological shit that you go through.
Not only a Hooper, like the GOAT though, like
no, for
really like that. Like, you feel me? You really on that path. You know what I'm saying? Of like,
it's just like going to the league.
Like that talent type shit. Like, you feel me? And then to shift away.
You know, and it was like everybody, you know, is supposed to go through the things that they're supposed to go through, man. That's what make you who you are. And I only say that because, as y'all know, as many know, you know what I'm saying, I've been on this journey for a very, very, very long time. You know what I'm saying? Since I was in high school, the man, or whatever people want to say, you know what I'm saying? But I have detached myself so far from that I can hear that type of stuff like, yeah, it feel good, but like it's so far on my past and that's who I used to be. And I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And y'all should be okay with that too. Like for real, because like those were some great moments, sure. But I have been on this journey for a very long time. I've been different mentally for a very long time, spiritually for a very long time. So like when I was on this journey back then, you know, there were so many things that happened that pretty much turned me into a different person that I wasn't ready to become. And I needed to let go of who I was. All right. And it wasn't until I actually really fully let go that I was able to even really express to people like what I was going through, because I didn't understand it at the time. You know, but again, not to just go too far deep into it, but we talking about prisons. For example, I was a prison to the game of basketball. Like, and I know a lot of people are. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you could be a prison to anything that you do, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you do, if you feel like you can't live without this thing, you are a prison to that. Straight up, simple. Simple as that. You feel me? And for a lot of people, you comfortable in that prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, so cool. Like, if that works for you, bro, cool. You know what I'm saying? But for those that want to rise above and make it to the next level and not really feel too deeply about the things that happen in this life, like, listen, you know what I'm saying? So in order for me to really become who I needed to become again, I had to let go. There was no possible way. And God kept showing me, bro, you gonna keep, I don't care what you think you finna change into or whatever. I don't care about that, right? It's about what you need to be though. And that is more you. I was so focused on trying to become a rapper, trying to become an artist, if you will, trying to become shit, you know, all of these things, even with, you know what I'm saying, my job, you know what I'm saying, you know, I wouldn't even say a handyman, but just, you know, a jack of all trades, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, yo, you trying to become all of these different things instead of just trying to become a better you. And what I mean by that is, why are you trying to identify as this thing? Learn it, and now, instead of identifying as that thing, allow for that thing to just become a part of who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't quite understand it, you know what I'm saying, because of what I thought I needed to be, you know what I'm saying? In order to change some things, you got to do some things differently. So I thought I needed to become something else in order to let go of who I was. And essentially it was just like, yo, become more of who you are. It's not even you need to become less of anything. You just need to become more of you. Because basketball, I thought I was basketball. Basketball was my life, right? But essentially, once I learned, bro, that was just a part of me. That was just a part of my journey. I've learned so many different things, and now I can take those skills that I learned from basketball and I can apply them to whatever next thing that I'm ready to do whenever I'm ready to do it. But in order for me to move forward, I have to let go of what's behind me. I was so far ahead of basketball at a point in time. When I was rapping and shit, like I didn't care about basketball for real. But boy, did I think about hooping every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, it was just still so much a part of who I wanted to be. Like, I'm watching all of these other people hoop, and it, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't even watch games and shit like that because I was so attached to it. But, you know what I'm saying? It took for the same things that happened to me in basketball, it happened to me in rap. It took for that to happen for me to like, all right, this has nothing to do with me trying to become anything else. Dig in. And it was like, bro, your music tells that anyway. Like, how could you forget? And I'm too caught up in life, bro. I'm too caught up in being a human. I'm too caught up in ego. Man, you know what I'm saying? So I knew that, you know, I needed to isolate and I needed to just like totally do something to like sit me down. No, I didn't need to do nothing stupid or silly to actually truly put me in jail or prison. But I had to isolate myself and put myself in a different type of prison in order for me to like learn myself.
Solitude.
All right, solitude, for real. Like, you don't have any choice but to be in some type of prison during this experience, y'all. You don't get to become out of a prison because of who you think you are. Like, that's just not the way that this goes. All right, so deal with it, live with it, continue to be who you are. So now any type of prison that you have to deal with, you're still you. And now when you come out of that prison, you even more you, and you ain't got to deal with that prison no more, because this shit don't stop. It's always something that you got to deal with, y'all. This is really, wow. Can we get to the key?
Yeah.
Can we get to the key? Cause like,
this part,
cause you know, I feel like we've been keeping it, you know what I'm saying, for far too long. But the key, man, right, is really, what is the key, right? For me, I'm gonna crack it off. I'm gonna be real brief because I just kind of went on the spew, you know what I'm saying? But the key for me is really true healing. And I don't mean going to a therapist and talking to somebody and them giving you some tasks and some things to do so that you can experience these things just for a little bit and you feel like you got better and now you good. That's not true healing, y'all. It's a part of the process. It's a good step, like, absolutely, y'all. I feel like Mike, you was finna say something. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I feel like you know what I'm saying, you couldn't hold it in. I feel like you was finna say something. But man, true healing, man, is being able to continuously go through the things that you used to go through and your response is totally different. It is no longer a burden. It is no longer a trigger when you hear a certain song, smell a certain scent, see somebody go through something that you kind of similar with experiencing, or you reading a book, watching a movie. When those things aren't truly that effective to you anymore, then you know that you're really truly healing from it. All right. And these are the keys. It's about unlocking the door to breaking through and leaving the shackles where they are, right? You know what I'm saying? So all of these prisons, right? Let's say, for instance, fear, right? Which is a really, 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 really big and strong one. And there's levels to fear. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about an example of using the key, you know what I'm saying, and breaking through, becoming free. All right. So fear. All right. What do y'all feel like, you know, because it's a process. All right. To unlock the door to fear, what do y'all feel like is the process to do so?
Well, first of all, I feel like you brought up another great prison we ain't really even tapped into like that. You feel me? So we gotta do that. Yeah. Because he just said another one.
Big one.
Fear.
That might, that's amazing.
That's the motherfucking, that's the slap your mama. That's in everything. That's in everything that people do, even shit you love.
Man, straight up.
You got fear of, is this good enough?
Fear of fucking up.
The first key is knowing where where these things stem from.
There it is.
Okay.
You know,
Wait, say that again.
Knowing where these things stem from.
That's the first step.
You know what I'm saying? And what you just said, most of that shit is gonna boil down to that fear. Even the ego shit. The ego is alive and it acts the way it do because it's what? Scared. You know, I'm scared to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's like the basis of damn near all this shit, at least as far as humans concerned, if nothing else, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, so as far as the key, I would say A is knowing that, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, okay, I like to like examine it, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people like to just succumb to it, to the emotion of it, and being like, oh, this is the reality, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I'm fearing, it must be true because I feel as if nothing else but this could be true, you know what I'm saying? And I think something that really helped me is even especially early on is just being able to question things, especially as far as myself, or like, okay, well, why do I feel this way?
Right.
Or if where does this feeling this way or thinking this way come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did I get this shit? You know what I'm saying? Because it came from somewhere. You know what I mean? It was influenced from some type of thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, even if I don't find an answer right then and there, it's like, shit, at least taking that life circumstance or life perspective or life emotion that you feel in that moment or have been feeling, and being able to pick it apart more so than being just so attached to the feeling of it, you know what I'm saying? It really helped me to like get beside it and look at it, get like some space between me and that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, actually, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, oh man, this shit is like, it's like asking what the fire is instead of just like being burnt or standing so close to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, even if I'm in this room trapped with this fire, I got enough space to look away and be like, well, you know, get away from it and look at it and be like, well, shit, like, how did I get in this room? You know what I'm saying? Why is this fire here? You know what I'm saying? Why is it affecting me in this way? And that's just a little, you know, example. But
Notice and shit like that.
The
You
key,
might even be able to stop the fire.
Exactly.
Shit.
Exactly. At least get out the motherfucking house at the very least. You know what I'm saying?
At least escape that bitch.
Yeah, so A is just knowing where it comes from. I feel like I say that even a lot in my music, just it's part of my philosophy is getting to the root cause of everything, especially as far as your decisions and your perspective, because it's like, and this is a continuous process, I would feel like, you know what I'm saying? Because even as I learn new things, as I realize new things, for one, I have to integrate them, and then two, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I need to always be examining how true these things might be, you know what I'm saying? Because I change, I might come into some more awareness, my awareness might expand. Even if I don't dodge it all together, I might come into a broader perspective of that same thing. You know, that helps me live it out even in a better way, or come to a better understanding of what it even actually was in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that is a huge step in getting the key to release the prison, is getting to the root, the why of the what. That's what Pat used to say a lot. The why of what, you know what I'm saying? Why the fuck do you do what you do? Or why do these certain things happen as they do? You know what I'm saying?
Why do that fucking matter? Why are you even mentioning that? What does that do to the whole process? Knowing that. Why you do what you do. You did something knowing why it happened. Why the fuck is that important? Like, what does that even do knowing that?
It's important because instead of being so succumb to your personal emotions and your personal experience, you're able to use some awareness which is broader than your ego and your personal thoughts and experience. You know what I'm saying? You're actually able to access that in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's important to do that because that's how you get the space to even fathom something different and something new. You know what I'm saying? So questioning things, especially the normalcy and the root of things, is how you even get the space to even fathom something that could be true. I'm not even saying that you need to automatically adopt another new thing depending on what it is, but you at least need the space to be able to fathom that something else might just be true, or it might be as valid, you know what I'm saying, at the very least. And I think that really helps, you know what I'm saying, in finding the key or grabbing the key to all of this shit. Because if you know why you did something, or why something happened, you know, or why things happen as they do, then you have less of a attachment to it, or a direct personal identification with it, you know what I'm saying? So just as you don't get mad at the fucking sky when it rains, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a part of life. That's natural as anything else. Just as the things you experience, the things you perceive, the things you know, feel like you're going through, these things are all a part of life, you know what I'm saying? And it's a part of the grander scheme as well, not just your personal life. And you're part of the grander scheme, you know what I'm saying? That's the big thing, you know what I'm saying? And so just to get back to the point and sum that shit up, is like, man,
some say it's to the why of the, to get to the why of the what, it looked like it leads you to ultimately awareness beyond your natural perception, and then to questioning even more. Because once you become aware, you naturally should have some fucking questions. Like, what the hell? What is this? You know,
No, I'm glad you did, because you basically like said that what I was trying to say, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you get to a new city or state, like you trying to, especially a place that you finna live in, and you're like, let me familiarize myself with these spots, you know what I'm saying? So
what you're saying is, what we talking about is actually a natural process. Because what you just described was everybody go through somewhere new. We moved to a house on a new street. Now I gotta learn what's going on over here. What we're describing is as natural as that. But nobody talk about this shit. Nobody teach you, and we ain't exactly teach you. We just talking about our experience with it. But like, I just want to say that this ain't right. A lot of shit that get called mystical and otherworld, and this is just us. This is shit our ancestors just knew growing up. And this ain't to say that it was perfect, because nigga, we didn't forget into that. But this is a part of who you are. It's something you naturally have access to. It's free. Well, actually, all it costs is your focus and your dedication, your choice. It costs your choice, your attention,
your genuine attention.
Facts. But yeah.
My bad.
No.
But yeah, I'll sum it up with this, because I don't want to talk too long. But yeah, so the key, knowing the root, you know what I'm saying? I'll expand on that, knowing the root of why, at least as far as your personal experiences go, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, what does that do? You know what I'm saying? It gives you the spatial awareness to fathom, the space to grow, to sum it up, you know what I'm saying? And you need that space, you know what I'm saying? Because how easy is it to get set in your ways, and to get set in a normal, and that's how you construct the prison in the first place, you know what I'm saying? Is by having the face value of reality. You are not looking beyond that. You don't have the wherewithal to even see that there might be something behind the face value of reality, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that fact, if you're living in that fact, you know what I'm saying, then it's really hard for you to change genuinely, you know what I'm saying? And that's tough, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the people that really have a really harder time, or make things harder on themselves than they have to. I mean, and we all do, but even harder is the people that refuse to change and refuse to adopt certain perspectives, you know what I'm saying? Or even fathom something other than what they might, you know, feel is right now, you know what I'm saying? And that's even with me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, whenever I'm going through something, or I'm learning some new information, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to be so attached to whatever the fuck I'm doing right now, or have been doing, that I can't embrace the truth genuinely, you know what I'm saying, or even fathom something that could be the truth, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how you grow, in my opinion. And that's how, at least that's how I've grown, you know what I'm saying? It's by even being able to even be like, oh, well, there might be some validity to that. Or what does that even really mean, you know what I'm saying? Or inquiring into all these things, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the world wants us to tell us, and even other humans want us to, you know, settle into these thought processes, these beliefs, these certain ways, you know what I'm saying? Because that's comfortable, you know what I'm saying? It's convenient on one level or another for whoever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And I guess even for yourself on one level, you know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't got to question too much, it ain't too much effort, too much uncomfortability that you got to deal with as far as yourself, you know? So just to, you know, before I get too long-winded, man, root, and then inquiring, and then how y'all was saying about knowing your real essence, you know what I'm saying, beyond just your personal experience. I feel like that's really such a big one.
What?
Knowing yourself beyond personal experience. Being able to relate yourself to, I guess, what Edward Energinger would call the archetypal psyche. It's a lot of terms, God, whatever you want to term, you know what I'm saying? But knowing truly that, knowing that you are that and what that really means, you know what I'm saying? That's, feel like that's the real part, what it really means, you know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to be like, oh yeah, I'm God, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me, you know? And it's true, you know what I'm saying? But what does that really mean, you know what I'm saying? What does that mean for you, you know what I mean? And to me, for me, it means that even though I'm very well aware that I'm Malik Barnett Ties, and I know we didn't went over this before, you know, I said this in previous episodes. I know, well aware of these personal experiences that I'm having, but in that, I also have the deeper knowing that no matter what I experience, no matter what I go through, good or bad, you know what I'm saying, there's an underlying thing in me, of me, that is really greater than any of that. Anything I can truly even fathom as far as this world, you know what I'm saying? There's something greater than any of that shit, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's something that's so powerful, and it makes it that much easier to detach, especially with music, because I love music to death. It's something that I've been attached to lifelong, you know what I'm saying? And as much as I want to achieve and accomplish still, even if I don't do none of that stuff, or even if I do, bro, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Not as far as like how I really feel about myself and knowing who I truly, or what I truly am, it don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say I'm not gonna try and to see my goals through or none of that. But I'm saying whichever way life take me, whichever way it go, even if I feel a way or react the way in that certain moment, I can always bring myself back and be like, nigga, you know what's really real. You know what I'm saying? What's really real is the unfathomable. You know what I'm saying? The unnameable. You know what I'm saying? How do you readily take that knowing and use that in a practical way, is by knowing that you are that same thing. You know what I'm saying? How do you know that? How do you know you're that same thing while also knowing that you're this personal experience? You do that by unionizing these fucking fragments. And what are the fragments? Everything. Everything that concerns this human experience, everything, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm trying to sum it up, but I read in that book that you let me borrow, the one with the symbols.
Art and Symbols of the Occult.
You know what I'm saying? One of the things that stuck with me that really I obviously remember to this right now is that, and I'm paraphrasing, this is not, you know, I'm fucking it up, but basically he was saying that, like, to see God, to truly see God, or to really truly experience or be God, you have to have the perspective of God. You know what I'm saying? You have to have the wherewithal in yourself. You have to see that exactly in yourself. And I don't mean like, because a lot of people like to play and this is not no disrespect to nobody and how they feel and how they believe, because whatever, if you feel you right or whatever you feel is right, that's right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to argue with you, but what I'm saying is that
now playing Joker by Dax.
To really
copyright strike.
My bad.
They got us.
Some SoundCloud shit, but so but yeah, fuck. I don't want to lose what I was saying.
Got his ass. CIA strong at work, man.
It's gonna come back though.
What was you just talking about?
Oh yeah. So you have to. What does having the perspective of God mean? Does that mean I look down at niggas now and I feel like I'm the king of the world? No, you know what I'm saying? That would be to miss the whole fucking point and to really make yourself an asshole, you know what I'm saying? And I done been through that shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to, act like I'm holier than now. I'm just saying that's not the point of why I'm saying this. You know what I'm saying? To have the perspective of God, the whole point of it is to be able to unionize all these things and see yourself in all of these things. And that means whether it's an animal, whether it's a mental perspective, whether it's another person, whether it's an experience, you know what I'm saying? All these things have a unifying principle, you know what I'm saying? And the unifying principle is something that you are one and the same with, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like knowing that, and I feel like knowing what the ego really is and how it functions, you can truly know how it's not you, you know what I'm saying? And how it affects you, you know what I'm saying? And I'll sum it up with this. I know I keep saying that shit. I said I done sum it up about 3 times.
You know, some
you know what I'm saying? But shit,
down,
I'll be trying not to go too long, you know what I'm saying? Man, for real, just, you know. But yeah, shit. Yeah, it's a unionizing thing, you know. That's why the heart thing is so important, you know what I'm saying? It has to get past the ego to the heart, because we're not studying this shit to be smart or to be nerds. It's for real change, you know what I'm saying? It's for real inner realizations, you know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful for this shit, bro, because the ability to even have for some new information to exist of this magnitude, or for at least for it to be able to affect me in these type of ways that it has, like, bro, without that, like, I would be probably still in church, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying all that shit to say, man. Oh yeah. Let me get back to the main point of what I was saying though. The perspective of God, and people want to skip around that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because deep down, you know, it feels almost lonely or blasphemous in a way to say that you are that thing, you know what I'm saying, that is the mystery, you know what I'm saying, that is the God, that is, you know what I'm saying, because what that also means is that you have to be responsible for everything that you intake and then experience, you know what I'm saying, and you know,
it's a lot of responsibility, man.
Exactly, and you can't blame. You know what I'm saying? As complex and as easy as it gets to blame, you know what I'm saying? You have to have some respect for the unifying principle, you know what I'm saying? And shit, I'll try to say it like this, man. Like, the ultimate key to me, at least as far as I see it, you know what I'm saying, is to how do you be detached, you know what I'm saying, while still experiencing, you know what I'm saying? Cause that's like, I feel like that's one of the riddles of this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do we integrate all this info while also living a normal, per se, practical, or in a society that really contradicts a lot of the things that we, you know, find ourselves being into.
It's almost all totally contradictory.
You know? And it's like, how do you unify all
They
these
want
things?
you to play daily sports, but then you crazy when you got CTE doing wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they training the fathers out the home, but then they arresting niggas out of higher.
Exactly.
Like it just keep going. We go on and on.
Exactly.
It's the FDA. These are the people who approve foods that are safe to eat. But if you look at what's in them, it's all kind of shit that's illegal in every other country. Like, it's so many. It's just go on and on.
Real,
so how do you survive? That's the kind of the whole thing we talk about. Is this whole system work by manufacturing different forms of imprisonment?
Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing you said. I'm gonna say a couple of things I wrote down while you was talking.
Mm-hmm.
So how you were talking about the perspective of God, right? Like, check this out. This how mythology play into this shit, right? Perspective of God. Where is God thought to be, just in general, by the general person? In the sky, up above somewhere, right? What animal is up above? A bird. There's a bird up there, and when they look down, what do we call that? A bird's eye view, right? The perspective of God. Bird's eye view. What do a bird see? Everything. They see everything going on. And if you look at it through mythology lens, look at how many cultures have wings representing wisdom. How many cultures have wings representing different forms of spiritual, you getting lighter, some form of spiritual growth. Egypt had Horus, you know what I'm saying, as the ultimate form of the spirit progressing after going through its evolution. Like, this is a constant thing, you know what I'm saying? So, and the most important part, this is all talking about yourself. So as he's breaking down the perspective of God, and I mentioned it, man, looking at getting a holistic view of everything, being able to see the whole picture. What do that do? Well, like he was mentioning earlier, give you the ability to have that awareness, and then from there use discernment. We all heard of discernment. They tell you don't judge, but God said use discernment though. We all heard of this, but it's the same thing they do. They take a little bit of truth and mix it in with some bullshit to where it's no longer serving what it was supposed to do. They giving you a hammer and telling us to eat fucking soup with, nigga. And just because you was taught that, you like, yeah, hell yeah, shit. I mean, yeah, it's a hammer, nigga. What else am I supposed to do with it? It's for soup. Whole time, bro, it's other shit going on, man. And you got to start to see this shit. Matter of fact, if you just slow down and pause, you'd be like, matter of fact, I've seen a lot of this shit already. A lot of this shit just come to mind when I get to thinking about funny shit happening that don't make sense in society. It done became normal to us almost, man. To where we just like, shit, this just what, like we were saying, like what it is. But something else you had said too, bro, like, I ain't gonna lie, I think we might need a part 2 to really, we can still get to the keys today, but to really dive into the keys, bro, because you said something about, we was talking about prisons, we was talking about fear. Man, I think another part of fear is fear of death. Death itself might be its own topic for another video even, but I think it play into this too when it comes to fear, because that's where the root of, that's like you talking about the root of a lot of pretty much all fear come from fear of death, because you scared if this thing don't happen in this amount of time. That's really what's scaring you, is before you die, you scared of death. And why is you scared of dying? Why is you scared of dying? I mean, I'm not saying I want to die. I'm not saying like I ain't scared of dying. I ain't saying that. I'm asking, where does that fear of no longer being alive in this, what we know as alive, where does that fear come from?
The fear of not knowing.
And what is that? Because it ultimately comes and take the form of a prison and how you act. Because we're talking about your actions and how fear play out and what you do when you're afraid certain shit not gonna happen the way it's supposed to. You feel me? So you had said something about, I don't even know if you mentioned death, but I was like, damn, this made me think about that, bro.
That's a great point.
And how that's kind of the whole point of everything going on. I mean, survival was the whole reason everything happened. You feel me? It's gotta eat, baby gotta eat.
Trying to stay alive. trying to prevent death. Goddamn, everybody running from death again. Not that we, you know what I'm saying, we just want to die. You know what I'm saying?
think
but like
a big one that you said, not to cut you off, man, but you had mentioned in passing, the fear of not knowing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's such a big one.
For sure.
That's
because, man, everybody want to feel like they know.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Even like a lot of people want to know, and they want you to know. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck they know. And even for the people that ain't necessarily doing that, you know what I'm saying? They just have to know something. You know what I'm saying? About, especially about the main things such as, you know, religion and certain, you know, certain things like that. The major things, like they feel like they have to have these certain, you know, concrete, almost like viewpoints on this shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, man, I be losing my point sometimes with this shit. But and what was I saying right before this shit?
I know we was talking about fear of death and shit.
Oh yeah.
No, you was talking about the fear of not knowing.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Cause I feel like a big thing in this that's really kept me like hungry for more and hungry for, like, you know, to keep learning, and even no matter what I go through, it's like, man, I still want to learn from this, or I still want to learn somewhere in some aspect, something, you know. It's like, I feel like the thing that really keep me that way is the fact that, you know, like, this shit is a mystery, you know what I'm saying, in a way. Like, we all are, like, connecting the dots or lack thereof in a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, like, people like Panic and even Bobby Hemming and all of them, I have so much respect for them, because, like, they, even as much knowledge and all that shit they put down, they always be like, nigga, don't follow me, don't just listen to me, don't just, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna break this shit down in detail, but go look for yourself, have your own experience, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like we be getting so attached to what we feel like we know that we almost infringe upon other people's experiences, because this has to be the reality, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that might be the reality for you, you know what I'm saying? Like, that has to be enough, you know what I mean? And that's why I be so big on, like, the whole right or wrong shit, and not being attached to that shit, you know what I mean? And not really arguing motherfuckers, especially when it comes to this, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, everybody is a part of the same thing, you know what I'm saying? You might be interpreting something in some way due to whatever your experiences may be, or whatever you perceive it to be. But everybody has some type of valid part in it, you know what I'm saying? Even if your part is invalidating what I feel is valid, that might help me be like, nigga, maybe you're right, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe I can look at this in a different way, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just like, man, being able to have respect for the mystery as a fact in life, and also yourself as a mystery, as that same mystery in life, you know what I'm saying? But also knowing that on a practical level, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's how you really keep yourself out of a prison, out of these prisons, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you, even being in this prison, knowing it's a prison, being able to be like, well, shit, it's a prison, and eventually time is, my time is gonna be, it's gonna be time for me to go, you know, when I go home. And what is going home? Death. And I'm glad you brought the fear of death up too, because I ain't gonna go too much longer, but the whole fear of death shit, man, I feel like that helped you, knowing that whole shit I just said, kind of help you look at death in a less attached way too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, like you said, it ain't like I'm trying to die or something, like I'm finna go walk into the middle of the street or nothing like that, but it's like, man, I know that whenever the time comes, you know what I'm saying, it's like shit. This was all school. It was all a temporary, it's a time-bound type of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's like
experience.
The life you lived as a human.
Yep, the experiences you have.
School.
All of that shit, yep. It's a school, it's a prison.
A school to teach you what? Like, you go to school to get a degree and shit and get a job. So that's like, I'm gonna get a job, like, what the shit or what that mean?
I would say the ultimate lesson, the ultimate graduation is knowing what you are beyond all of this shit that you experience. And knowing that beyond an ego or intelligence level, knowing that from a heart level, you know what I'm saying? So being able to see that in yourself and then know that's a fact in everybody else and everything else, you know what I'm saying? But like truly though, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's, in so many words, that's...
And you saying this school helps you realize that somehow?
Yes.
That's basically what you, if you succeed, that if you pass this school, that's what you come out knowing almost what you're describing. I think what you're describing too is kind of like the thing alchemists talk about as the gold, as the lead to gold. I got this image on screen here too of one form of the Kabbalah. But like here at the bottom, where we at? Boom. At the bottom, this is basically where we at. It's a place called Malkuth. And the whole idea of this, first of all, this is Kabbalah. This is the Kabbalah tree of life. Each of these circles represents something. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, beauty, severity, the three pillars. Boom, on the middle pillar here at the bottom, you got Malkuth, which is also known as kingdom, which is also known as planet Earth, which is also known as the bottom of the four worlds, which is also known as the densest part of any of these. The higher you go, the lighter you go at the top. Is essentially, this ain't true, but essentially God, just to sum it up. That's where God exists. And these are all different things that we all go through, stages of life. We pass up and down all throughout. It's basically just different levels of consciousness. But the bottom representing density and form and physical. That's where we at. And we have this whole path to ascend. You know what I mean? And as we're talking about fear of death, this is really also describing the cycle of reincarnation, because every time you return, you come right back, collecting all of these attributes as you come down and ascend yet again. And we've done this many, many times, but what we're talking about now is a way to transcend, because for many, it's time to go. Whenever it is your time to go, you want to be prepared. You know, you want to be prepared. This ain't, and this where shit gets to sounding weird. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. This for the people who understand what I'm talking about, man. Shout out to the ones who haven't. I hope you can get to where you need to be. That may not be, you know what I'm saying, have anything to do with this. And that's what's up too. I want to see everybody on their path doing what they're supposed to do. But as far as like what I'm on and what I'm here to tell y'all, there's so much that has been put against you. It's time to, if you haven't realized it, you're way behind, but for one, become aware of what's going on, start to question what's going on and take action, ultimately. Because realizing all this shit is just one part of it. You know, we want to talk about what's going on because that matters. That let us know what actions need to be taken, but just that part, what actions, and then doing the shit. You feel me? So as we talking about prisons, it's that, bro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I think that's a good closing time right there. You know what I'm saying? I think we should cap it right there and pick up where we left off, because this topic about fear of death, like, is you know what I'm saying? Bro, this is about to open.
This might be multiple parts.
You know what I'm saying? No straight up, because this is about to open another ball game up, y'all. But
real shit, I'm with that.
Yeah, like we're gonna keep this rocking on the next episode. But take heed, people. Take heed to what we saying, man. Like this again. This is for you to become a better you. This is not for you to look at anybody like they are more than or better than or greater than who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
you are that. Always remember that, man. You know what I'm saying? And this journey is for you. And you only. I ain't gonna say you only like it's only limited to you, but the people around you might not be on what you on.
Focus on you, because that's another part of this whole letter to the middle where the yellow shining. That's where Jesus exists. Jesus, which we all know about. What they teach us: be like him as much as you can. What he do? Die for niggas. You think you supposed to die for niggas? What can we let's be for real. But I ain't finna, like I said, he says a can of worms, bro. We ain't gonna get into it. But just put it in perspective, man. You feel me? With all that being said, what was today, thank everybody who tuned into the transmission. If you tapping into this, leave us, you know what I'm saying, leave us a comment, show us some love, and tap in next time, man. We'll be back with another one soon, you dig that?
Sir.
We're playing with it, man.
Peace.